Okay, well, where we ended last time, we were talking about procession and the fall of the angels and the fall of man, individuality, not being told what to do by God, and versus being a servant. Um, so we're going to get into the word fall. I think definitions are really important because if we're all on the same page with definitions, then we're all kind of speaking the same language. But we can all interpret words meaning something different, and then each word you get a whole different concept. So we're going to start with the word fall. And the fall just literally means separation from divine intelligence. So you feel separated from the source, you feel separated from perfection, inevitably you feel separated from joy and bliss, and you feel less than. You feel a lot more empty. So when the angels fell, they did it to step into power, and along with them, they took a lot of human beings with them, and they became separated. So as mankind started, it's called a procession, this circle going around 26,000 years. That's called perception. Procession, not well, it is perception, but it's we're going to start at the fall, where man and fallen angels, we can all define what that means. We're going to all have like beings from Nibiru to beings from spaceships, from being with angels with wings. Get a lot of archaeological sites all over the world with beings with wings, flying type of things, going through the air, chariots of fire. So we're going to start with that point at the fall. The ego steps in. So originally, we thought with our hearts and our emotions. We thought with our hearts and our emotions. So the divine intelligence would come through and it would make it all the way down to the heart and your emotions. And that's why you felt so connected. So when you fell, that's definitely got separated, and then those emotions and that heart could be hurt, it could get angry, it could be frightened, because it was no longer connected. That separation there. Then we weren't originally thinking with our minds, which sounds very strange. And our minds started perceiving things through fear, through anger, through lack, and we started thinking with our brains. And we didn't think with our hearts or our emotions anymore. And we felt like we needed to become more of something. We needed to become better than the next person. Instead of all of us are God's children and we're all perfect. Every path that each one of us takes, hopefully they're all different paths, that's perfect. Because we're perceiving from a 360-degree view, if you're going linear, or we're perceiving in a multitude, I don't even know how many points of light. Okay? So we are connected, and we're connecting perfectly. So when we got separated, we fell into fear, we fell into anger, and what the mind came up to cope with all that fear and all that anger and the anxiety of being separated was ego. And then we go into that individuality where I have to be better than you. Am I better than you? What do I have to do to be better than you? Because I'm not good enough. So we started thinking from ego from that point of view. Weak people thought from their hearts. Women, they're so incredibly weak that they're so emotional. So the whole concept of thinking became the dominant one, and the heart and the emotions became the inferior one. So that starts the fall. When we start that separation where the divine intelligence isn't coming down to the heart and the solar plexus anymore. So I'm going to describe the way it used to look. You've seen it probably a million times in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Is the person laying down on the boat, and there's like a triangle, and the star is up here, the light is up here, and then you've got the 2 points. the solar plexus, and the brain. They're all connected. They're all connected. And up here is the all-seeing eye of God. That's the source. So that was a procedure to get you totally reconnected. In the ancient days, when people became negative thinking and fearful thinking, that's when they were getting ill. They didn't have illnesses like tuberculosis or yellow fever or AIDS. Those were really super created out of the mind. When they started feeling separated, that's when they were getting sick. So they would go into these healing areas to become more connected with divine intelligence. So that's the beginning of the fall, when people started realizing that they were getting separated. Then we went all the way to the other side where everybody, not everybody, but a lot of beings were totally separated. And now we're like right here, coming right back. So we're getting reconnected. Took 26,000 years on each procession. Okay? So what the ancient Egyptians did were these healing exercises where people got completely reconnected to divine intelligence. And you always see the pyramid. There's another part to this pyramid where here's the source, the sun. We have man on this side, woman on this side, and they're twin flames. So it's the Father, the Son, and the daughter. The church kind of knocked out women altogether, and it became the Father, notice this, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They took away the pyramid, and they took away woman, and they put Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. So the Son no longer is all beings, it's one guy, and the woman, gone, and Holy Ghost takes its place. So that's how they changed it. But when you go into Peru, you'll see a lot of ancient carvings and drawings that are still in museums today and probably out in the wild somewhere that have the Father, the Son, and the daughter. Son, daughter. We're going to touch those. They're twin flames. They're one particular spiritual genetic code. Separated. One side is female, one side is male. So when we are now at this last part connecting, twin flames are coming back together. That's the two male-female aspects of the one spiritual genetic code. They're called twin flames. We got a lot of soulmates and we got a lot of families, or soul families. Okay, so now we've got this mirror that we're looking into, learning to love ourselves on the male side. Mirror, learning to love ourselves, female side. Eventually you will love yourself so much that the magnetic pull of that spiritual genetic code, it's an actual energy frequency, pulls together. Okay? And it becomes one again. So I think especially a lot of women, if they want their twin flame, they want their soulmate, they want them. So they go out searching for them outside of themselves. To get back to your twin flame, you have to have that mirror right here, and you have to love it with all your heart, which is loving you, which is loving creation, which is being in bliss, living in the source. The male side has to do that also. And that's how you get reunited with your twin flame. It's a little bit more difficult than going on the internet and finding your guy on some date site thing. It's you reattaching to you, him reattaching to himself, if you're a woman on this side. So, and you could also, that's the female and male aspects of the one spiritual genetic code. So it could be two males, it could be two females. I'm not going over on that. But it's the energy frequency of masculine and the energy frequency of feminine.